name is JJ. I'm going to be your tour guide today, JJ. I'm going to be your tour guide today. I'm going to be with you throughout the city tour. If you have any questions about New York City, feel free to ask. Now, what we're going to do first, I'm going to hand out maps. I'm going to hand out in which you should hold the map. This is the way in which you should hold the map. Make sure you open up the map and hold it in this direction. All right, Bob, so we're going to head straight and head down to West Side Highway, make a left. World Financial Center. That is a map of the area of New York we're in right now. It is called Manhattan. That's where we are right now, Manhattan. Area known as Manhattan. When you talk about New York City, first thing I want you to know about New York City is this. New York City is made up of 5 different areas. 5 different areas, better known as 5 boroughs. 5 boroughs. 5 different areas, better known as 5 boroughs. Realize that the names of those 5 boroughs: Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Manhattan, and Staten Island. Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Manhattan. Map of Manhattan. That's where you have in your hand the map of Manhattan. Keep in mind, Manhattan's most famous out of the 5 boroughs that make up New York City. The most famous, the most popular, the most visited out of the 5 boroughs. This is where you have your biggest tourist attractions. This is where you have your big business, your corporation, right here in the borough of Manhattan. So that's the map that you have right now in your hand. Realize that Manhattan is an island. It is an island. It's a small island. It's 22 square miles. 22 square miles. About 1.6 million people live here in Manhattan. 22 square miles, about 1.6 million people that come to Manhattan each day, Monday through Friday, to work. About 4 million people that commute to Manhattan each day, Monday through Friday to work. About 4 million people. You have about 1,080,000 cars, buses, and trucks that come to Manhattan each day, Monday through Friday. About 1,080,000 cars, buses, and trucks that commute to Manhattan each day, Monday through Friday. So there's a lot of action, a lot of excitement, a lot of people, a lot of movement, a lot of congestion here in Manhattan. But typically, traffic is a little lighter on a Sunday, on a weekend, typically. But that's not guaranteed, because on the weekends they have parades, festivals that close off streets, and they also do weekend construction projects that close off streets, which make for traffic. So keep that in mind while we're on today's tour. Also, I want you to know this about Manhattan. Manhattan is divided into 3 sections. You have Uptown, Midtown, and Downtown Manhattan. Uptown, Midtown, and Downtown Manhattan. Right now we are in Midtown Manhattan. This is Midtown Manhattan. Midtown Manhattan. Right now we're at the intersection of 9th Avenue and 42nd Street. 9th Avenue and 42nd Street here in Midtown Manhattan. That would be in the middle left-hand side of your map. Middle left-hand side, 9th Avenue and 42nd Street. We're on 42nd Street. We're heading west here on 42nd Street. On today's tour, we're going to concentrate on Midtown, and we're going to go downtown. On today's tour, we're going to concentrate on Midtown and downtown on today's tour. Downtown, that's where you have the financial district. That's where you have downtown. So we're going to concentrate on Midtown and downtown Manhattan on today's tour. Keep in mind that Midtown Manhattan, where we are right now, Midtown Manhattan is the most expensive area in this country to live. Midtown Manhattan, most expensive area in this country to live, Midtown Manhattan. How expensive is it? Well, Midtown Manhattan, 1-bedroom apartment here in Midtown Manhattan, it will cost you on average of $1.2 million. $1.2 million to buy a 1-bedroom apartment here in Midtown Manhattan, about $1.2 million. Realize if you were to rent a 1-bedroom apartment each and every month, it costs you on average of $2,000 a month. 2 bedrooms, $3,000 a month. 3 bedrooms, $4,000 a month here in Midtown Manhattan. So, on today's tour, I want you to know this. To live here in Midtown Manhattan, you have to be, one, I'm going to teach you how to be a real New Yorker. By the end of today's tour, you're going to walk, talk, and act like a real New Yorker by the end of today's tour. And I'm going to teach you how to think like a rich New Yorker on today's tour. So we're going to think rich on today's tour. By thinking rich, we know we need to buy a high-priced, expensive home here in Midtown Manhattan. Now I'm going to tell you something that I don't tell many people. I'm going to give you my already rich here in New York City so I can afford these homes here in Midtown Manhattan. Now, as I mentioned before, we're on 42nd Street. I guess I spoke too soon when I said weekend construction. They have a lane closed off. That's why we're moving slowly right now. Lane closed off for weekend construction. So that's why we're stuck in traffic right now, just in case anyone was wondering why. Now, talking more about New York City, Midtown Manhattan, Manhattan in general. I want you guys to realize a couple of things. You're going to see a lot of yellow taxi cabs here in Manhattan. A lot of yellow taxi cabs here in Manhattan. You've seen a couple so far, correct? We have about 13,000 yellow taxi cabs serving New York City. About 13,000 of them serving New York City. 13,000 yellow taxi cabs. Keep in mind, the yellow taxi cabs run on a meter system, which means they charge you for time and distance, time and distance, time and distance. So they have a machine that calculates your time and distance. Realize this. The rates for a yellow taxi cab, $2.50 for the initial charge, $2.50 for the initial charge. If you park here in Manhattan, you always have to check the signs, the street signs, to see what days you can park here, what times you can park there.